friends, so today I'm going to be doing my updated eyebrow routine. I know you guys have been asking this for a lot because the last time I did one I think was over a year ago, so it's been a pretty long time. Not too much has changed. I kind of went through a phase where I used only pencil and then back to powder, so I'm going to be showing you what I actually do now. If you want to see more in detail of how I groom them and fill them in and trim them and keep them up and all that stuff, then I will link you to my old video because that was actually a how-to video on how to shape your brows for your face shape and all that stuff, so that's in the other one. This is just a quick eyebrow routine of what I've been doing on a day-to-day basis, and I didn't want to cover all that other stuff since I already have. So normally I would go ahead and do my eyebrows before I do my eye makeup, but I went ahead and did that just to speed up the process, but normally I do it after I finish my blush and all that stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is comb them out. There is some hairs that need to be cleaned up here, and I will zoom in closer so you guys can see. So the one thing different about this video and the other one that I did a long time ago is I actually let it grow more towards the center because I think it makes your nose look smaller when your eyebrows are closer together. So you want to keep it as far in as your eyebrows are naturally, and that will make it look more natural and your nose will look slimmer, because if your eyebrows are far apart, your nose is going to look wider. So it just doesn't look right with your eyes. You want it to come to your tear duct because you want your eyebrow to frame your eye, and it's not going to frame your eye if it starts too far back. So I let it grow to here, and then I'm actually just clipping down the top hairs that grow up higher than the top of my brow, so that's how I keep those groomed. And I'm actually going to fill that in there just to where it makes it more like streamlined across and not so like thin right there, because that I used to pluck that off and it would make it start too far back this way, and that's why it's kind of sparse now, because the more you pluck something it's going to kind of stop growing as much there. It's still going to grow back, but it's not going to be as thick as it would be. So this is also kind of growing in right here too, and I'm just going to leave that and just work with it when I fill it in, and whatever is left over that's still in the way I might fix with plucking, but for now this is pretty much the way that I like it. I also trim the tails a little bit just so they match up with the edge of my eye, and they look pretty good actually. And I trim any hairs that are like really wild because my hair is curly, but pretty much everything looks pretty good. I'm just kind of touching up what I would do maybe during the week, and then maybe once a week go through and do a full process of grooming them. So now for filling them in, you could use a pencil. My favorite is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist pencil, and I used to use this all the time because a pencil is just so easy. Although it doesn't look as natural as a powder, it is just easy because all you have is this. You don't need a brush and powder too, so it's just so quick and easy. But since I went a lot darker with my hair, this is a little bit too light for me. So I have been using my NYX Butt Naked Eyes palette to do this, and I usually use this for my everyday shadow anyway, so it just makes it easier for me. And this color right here, this dark matte brown, matches me perfect. So that's the color that I'm going to be using. It's the one next to the purpley black shade, and it's just a matte dark brown. And I don't want to use black or anything because that's going to be too harsh, so a dark brown is going to match my dark brown hair a lot better. And I'm also using this brush, this double-ended brush that I got from a set at Walmart. I don't know the brand of them. I don't think they had a brand, but they are great brushes, and I talk about these all the time. But this is the one that has a longer angled brush, because the Sigma angled brush I don't think works quite as well for brows, because look how much smaller it is. So it's much more precise, and this is better for eyeliner. But this one is actually longer and a lot more like fluffier, so it works really well for eyebrows. And then the other end has a spoolie, which makes it really convenient. So I comb through them first, and then I just dip a little bit into the powder, and the powder looks a lot more natural because you can create shadows between the hairs of your eyebrows, and it makes it look like they are fuller. And I don't fill in the whole thing. I just kind of start at my arch because I want to reinforce my arch since I don't really have much of one. And wherever you start the color is where it's going to be the darkest. And I just kind of continue that down without dipping it back in. And I'm going to blend it out with the spoolie when it's done, so it's not going to look so harsh. And that's really it. And then I start to go to the center, but I don't really have that much on my brush at this point. But just enough to kind of fill that in a little bit, but you don't want to have a crazy harsh line right there that looks kind of fake and unnatural. And of course you don't want to go outside your natural brow line. And that is all that I do. And then I just comb through it. And it's filled in. It's that simple. If your eyebrows are really bad, I recommend using the pencil because that will create more darkness. Like if you don't have any brow shape and you need to create a brow shape, like if yours are totally almost gone, then I would use a pencil and then top it off with a shadow to make it stay in place. But since I don't really have that many issues with mine, the powder works just fine. I usually take whatever's left on my brush to just kind of fill in this part right here because I don't want a lot right there. It kind of looks better if there's a few little lighter areas. It looks more natural. So when I do this part, I like to hold my brush like this because it just fits better with the shape and just start shading that in right there. If you apply too much shadow, just continue to go over it with the spoolie, maybe even with more pressure, and it will blend out that color because this is a shadow, so it's going to work great. You don't have to have an eyebrow powder. I like using eyeshadow because I can kind of customize the color that I want. Although having a brow powder might be a little bit better because it might be more tacky and be more likely to stick, but eyeshadow works just fine for me. There's no reason to go out and have to buy an eyeshadow powder. But I do really like the e.l.f. one. I did used to use that one. I used that in my last tutorial. It's the e.l.f. eyebrow kit. That one's really nice and it's really cheap. It's actually cheaper than eyeshadow, so that works really well too, but I don't have the one in my color now. When I'm done with filling them in, I just use my Maybelline Great Lash Clear Mascara to set them, or else they will be all over the place since my hair is curly and somehow I end up, my hair gets in them and pulls them all over the place. And we're all done. It's that simple. So that is it for my updated eyebrow routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I would love to see yours if you can post it in the video responses because it's neat to see how other people do it based on their face shapes or their hair. I plan on having a updated mascara routine as well soon. I just still have to fine tune it a little bit to get it exactly the way that I want it before I show you guys, so that will be coming. Follow my blog, getglammed-up.com, for daily updates, and don't forget to comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye everybody.